and if you're new to my channel, I would like to say recommend you to subscribe my channel. And if you're old, then we are going to build Laravel login system in this video. So this will be really simple project, nothing very complicated. So I've listed out some softwares and tools that we need in this project. So first of all, we will need XAMPP server. So if you don't have XAMPP server, please download it and install it in your computer. So we will need XAMPP server, and secondly IDE or code editor, whether you use Node++, Visual Studio Code, Sublime, or whatever you like. So thirdly, we will need Composer. So Composer is dependency manager for Laravel, so we will need Composer. And so without Composer, you won't be able to work on Laravel projects and create Laravel projects. So in the number 4 list, I recommend you having some PHP, HTML, and CSS knowledge. So if you don't know PHP, then it will be really hard for you to work on this project. So I recommend you having some PHP knowledge. And for the CSS, we are using Bootstrap. So let's go and build the project. Download the XAMPP server. Let's go to download XAMPP and go to the download XAMPP link. So these are the list of servers that is available for us. If you use Windows, then you can use this 64-bit server. So if you're using Linux, then you can download this from here, and if you use Mac, then you can download from here. So after you download it, you just install this XAMPP. So I've already installed XAMPP. And second thing is that we want Composer. So to download Composer, just go to downloads Composer. So just go to this first link, download Composer, and as you can see here, you can what you want to do is you just copy this code and paste them on your terminal or command prompt. So this will download Composer for you. And secondly, what you want to do is just go to this link after you download your Composer. So just go to this get started link, and what you want to do is you will make your Composer to access from globally. So what it means is from wherever you from the command line or terminal, you can use the Composer. So okay, so that means that now till you install your Composer, it's resided at locally, but you want to make it globally. So if you don't make globally, then you won't be able to use Composer from the desired directory, your desired directory or folder. So just run this command and your Composer will be accessible from globally. So that's all. These are all the tools that we need. So let's go and see our demo project. This is our demo project. So I've already created a demo project for you, and let's go and check this demo project here. So if I try to log in with the empty credentials, so it will notify me with this error. So let's go and give some email and password. So as you can see here, it says invalid email or password. So we are giving wrong email and passwords. So let's try to hit with new correct password and email. So now it's taking us to the home page. So if I press logout, and it again redirects me to the login page. So if I try to go to the home page directly, so it's not allowing me to view the home page. So yeah, this is the simple yet powerful system. So let's go and build this system from the scratch. So now we will build our project. So to build our project, just go to the terminal or command prompt. So if you have installed Composer and you have installed XAMPP server, then you will be able to see the Composer version. So if you have followed my instructions, you can just check your Composer by typing Composer. So this command will show you the command Composer version. So after we have achieved this, just clear the screen, and now we will create our project. So to create projects, I will go to the my desktop folder to create my project. Inside the desktop folder, so because I wanted to access my project easily from desktop, so that's why I'm creating my project inside the desktop. So after I'm in the desktop screen, so I will create my project. So to create Laravel projects, you will have to let's say give a command of composer create -project Laravel /Laravel and your project name. So in this so we'll give our project Laravel login sys. So this would be our login system project name. So just hit the enter button and Composer will start to build the project. So just leave it for a while. Start your server. So I've already started my server. So let's go to the browser and we will create database for ourselves. So just type localhost phpMyAdmin and we will create new database. Just go to this new button and we will name our database Laravel login sys. So similar to our project name. So just hit the enter button and our database is ready. So let's go back to our project creation. So this is taking a little bit more time. So let's open new window inside the Visual Studio Code. So it's taking a little bit time. So I'll stop here. It is created now. Just minimize this and we will open our project inside this Visual Studio Code. So after you have created your projects, so you will have these files and folders inside your project. So first of all, what we will do is before doing anything, let's go to this .env and set up our database fields. So you will go just to below this DB connection MySql. So we are using MySql, so we will provide our credentials here. So database will be Laravel login sys. So our username is root and password is nothing for my If you have your password and username, you should provide your password and username. So by doing this, you'll have database connections. So just close this, and now we will check our project live view. So to view your project, so we will go to the your project folder. Right now I'm in the desktop, so my project is inside the desktop folder. So I will switch to my project. So my project is Laravel login sys. So now I'm inside my project folder. So inside the project folder, you will say PHP artisan serve. So this will help you to view your project live. So this is the link. Just copy this link, Control C, copy, and just go to your browser and paste this link and just hit enter button. So yeah, our project is successfully created, so that's why we are having our project here. So let's go back to our project, and we will start to build. Now so what I'm going to do is my next step is to create model. So let's go to the terminal and get new window. Let's firstly switch to my project. So my project is inside desktop and Laravel login sys. Okay, I'm inside my project now. I will build models. So since the Laravel uses model view controller model, so I hope you know about the model view controller system. So basically controller is for controlling our projects, so redirecting our projects. Controller will connect to the fetch and data from the database using model. So controller and model will be connecting themselves and working on the data retrieving and fetching and inserting data into database. And so view will basically view whatever data we have we want our users to view. So this is what model view controller does. So I just briefly have explained you. So now we will create our models. So to create our model, just type PHP artisan make model, and our model will have name Laravel. We'll just say login, and we will also give dash m. So dash m will create migration file for us. Just hit the enter button. So we have created our model. So let's go to the app folder, and you can see we have our model here. So as well as this file, Laravel has also created the migration file for us, as you can see here. So this is the result of hitting dash m. So so basically this migration will create table for us inside our database. So just we don't need these other tables, so we will delete this, and since we are not using it, we are deleting it. So this is file that creates table for us. So inside our table we will be having ID user ID, and we will also have username, and so username should be varchar, so that's why we are giving a string. And we will, in the third position, we will have email, and in the fourth positions we will have password. So this is what we need for now. You can add if you want to save the age and all that, user details. So for this system, I think this is enough for us. So we have fields we need for our system. Just save this file, and let's go back to our terminal, and now we will migrate our table. So basically what migrate does is creates table for us. So let's hit the PHP artisan migrate command. So this will create table for us. Just check the spelling and hit the enter button. So now we can go back to our browser and go back to our database, and we can check. As you can see here, we have this login table. So this is the freshly created table. So after this, we will further work on our let's say project. So inside our projects, now we don't need it. You can just close these files, and now we will create controller for us. So to create controller, let's go back to our terminal, and not this one. So we will let this terminal to create controller. So we will create controller. So to create controller, you will just type PHP artisan make controller. So our controller will be login controller. So okay, this is our controller. So just hit the enter button, and we have created our controller. So let's check inside the HTTP and controllers. So as you can see here, we have created our controller. So now we will work on our views. So before that, we will go to our inside the roots page, and inside this web dot. So we don't need this welcome page. So what we will do is we will create a new view page. So it will be called login. So the what do you say, URL should also be login. Okay, so let's go back to our view page. So we don't need this welcome page, so we can delete this, move to trash. So inside the view folder, we will create a new file called login.blade.php. Okay, so this will be our login page. We will just create a simple HTML page, and we will give a title of login, L-O-G-I-N, login. Okay, so with this we will also grab our Bootstrap CSS link. So to get the Bootstrap, just go to the Bootstrap so I'm not having internet, so let's turn on the internet and Bootstrap. Hit the enter button and go to the Bootstrap link and go to the documentation, and you will have CSS link here. So just copy this, and let's go back to our project login page, and we will paste it here. So this will give us Bootstrap link. So just comment this, style link. Okay, so in case we don't get confused. And secondly, what we will do is so now we will go to our table and create some users to check. So we are inside the Laravel. Where is our Laravel login sys? And so our table is logins. So just insert some user. So firstly, we will only create one user, since we will it's enough for us to check login functionality. So we will give a username John Dev. Okay, so John will have john@mail.com, and the password will be password itself. So just hit the go button, and we have our new user here. You can just browse the user, and here is the user. So we have new user for ourselves. Let's just go back to our project file. Now we can start our working on our project. So first of all, let's create a login page. So I will use Bootstrap class. So we will create class container, and inside the container we will create class row, div having class row. So, and inside the row we will create a div having column, Bootstrap column. So it will have medium column of having 6 grid. So okay, inside this we will create a card. So this card will be container for our form. So inside card div we will create another div called card header. So inside the header we will define a not a h1, yeah, we can give a h1 here, such one header tag, and we will say login. And we will also define a class called center. So just save this, and under the header we will create another div having class card body. So this should give us a nice container for our form. So inside card body we can just create a form. So to log in we will need form. So HTML form, and action will be log in. So inside the form we will give a label for email. So this will be email, and we will define a input type, and which will have class. Okay, before the sorry, so we can just delete this. We will keep this inside the class called form group. So this will it will do is it will give us some organization. So it will organize our content. Let's create one input type having class form control. Okay, so and we should give it name, which is email, and it should be required. What required will do is it will allow users to log in with empty fields. We will copy this same field and we will next in the next section we will have password. So this should be password 2, and just copy this and paste it here. And so this time we will have input type password. Okay, and for the form we will also have method which is post, so we don't want to show our details to user. And inside the form we will also define CSRF token. So what this will do is this will provide token to validate the user. So this is for the security reasons that Laravel implements. So now we have created our form. So let's go below the password, and we will also again create a div with class form group, and we will have our button here. So our button should be button having class button. So our button is button success, and it should also have class button block. Okay, so now the text should be login. Since we're logging in, we will give a text called login. Now I think we're already ready. So at the row class we will also give another class called justify content MD center. So this will move our card at the center. So this is good for the organizing. So let's go back to our projects and hit the login URL. So now we are having our form. So this is also printing CSRF token. So let's go back to our projects and let's we should not print this. So this is printing the CSRF token. So we can also what we can do is we can remove the let's see if it works fine or not. Okay, so it's printing it. I think this is because this is because I have given token here, so it should not be token, it should be filled. So just save this file and let's go back to our project, and it's not printing it now. So this is it. We can also okay, just leave it for now, and let's go back to our route folder. So our root folder is here, and inside the web.php we will so after the user hits okay, so so this should be when we go to our root directory. So just remove the login URL from here. So because we are creating new root having /login URL. So to create new root, just give a class root, and we will have root with post method, and our URL is login. And so we are going to the controller, logins controller, and at the rate we will go to the function called login. So this is our URL, this is our controller name, and this is our method inside our controller class. So we have defined our root. So let's go back to, we can close this, let's go back to our controller class. So inside the login controller we have to define the login function. So defined, we'll create function public function login, and inside login we will have parameter request, since we have to get the email and username. So firstly what we will do is we will get all the user data. So we will say users, and to get users data we will use our model. So our model name is login, and also what this will do is it will get all the users data from database. So to use login we will have to give a namespace here. So we will use app login. So we have to give our model name here to use here. So after this what we will do is we will use for each loop. So to check our data, our users data, we will use for each, since there will be many users. So for each users we will say user. So and we will check if condition here. So if user let's say email equals to email that's coming from request, not only email, we will also check for the password. So if user's password is equals to password that is coming from the user, so if the username, email and password matches, then we will create a session. So we will create session called name, and we will define here user name, and we will return view, return the index page. So else we will send the message with flash method, session flash, and so flash will be having name error, and the error should be invalid email or password. So this will be the message. So and we will return our user to back to the login page. So this should check That should work for us. Let's also use session here, since we are using session class. Let's define here. Okay, let's go back to our page and let's check for these functionality. So I think everything is fine. So let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh this. Okay, so we have some error here. So this is in the method not allowed. Root supported method post. Okay, route collection. Let's go back to our projects. So let's check here. Okay, what we are let's give back our here, and we will say login func. This is login function. So I think this is because of you know, the get method is not allowed. So we will also have to define the similar name here. So let's go back to our project and check. So now it's allowing us to log in. So just enter some error email and password. Let's hit the enter button. Okay. Zero passed and exactly one expected. Okay, so now it's telling us okay, what we have to do now is, firstly, let's go back to our login page, and if the error occurs, we are going to display here. So we will say if so session. So we are sending error message. So we will define error here, and we will end our if condition here. And if there is an error, so we will say we will define a div having class alert. So with alert, we will also define class alert danger. So this will give a nice Bootstrap alert class. So inside it, we will say we will display session error. So this error is coming from here. So if the username is incorrect, then we are sending this error message here. So I think we have forgot to mention a request class here. So yeah, this should do work for us. Let's also create a view page, view index page. So index.blade.php. So if the user is user enters username and email correctly, then the user should be redirected to index page. So this time we will give correct username and password. So yeah, now we are redirected to the index page. Inside index page, we will do we will create a HTML page, and we will also grab the Bootstrap link, since we want to style our page a little bit. So, and we will also give a title of home page, and inside this body we will define a container class, and inside container class we will define a class called Jumbotron. So inside Jumbotron we will display the user's name. So we will say, let's say welcome. Let's define a header tag first, and inside header tags we will say class center, and we will say welcome, and we will display the user's name here. So session poll, so we will say name here. So after this we will define a button. So button should be inside a anchor tag. So anchor tag will lead us to logout functionality, and the button should be button should have class btn, and it should be btn secondary, and it will be called logout. Okay, let's refresh this. If I go back to here and if I refresh it, so I'm sorry, let's go back to our login page. Let's retry it, and we're here inside the index page. So let's not only so this is little wrong here. So we have this login func name. So what we are going to do is we are going to give our route a name. So let's go to route page. Let's define a get method, and we will say index, and we will let's say give a name called let's also go to the same controller. So, and this controller should have method index, and this should also have name called let's not go to the controller. We will not go inside the controller. We will define a function here. Inside the function we will return the view called index, and now we will give our route a name called index. Let's save this, and after saving here we will go back to our controller, and here we will say go back to the root, return, redirect, and we will redirect it to the root index. So this should work fine. Let's refresh this. Let's again enter the user credentials and hit the login button. Now you can see index here. So this is having a proper link. So yeah, this button should also be at the center. So button should have class, let's say Okay, let's keep this also inside our header tag. So it should be at this center. Let's refresh it. Okay, now it's blocking the name. Let's put it back to our let's give it a class. Text center. It should bring us to the, now it's not working. Okay, that's not the case here. Let's remove this class from here. So okay guys, let's go to the let's see if our we are having the error or not. Let's give a wrong email and wrong password. So let's see what it's telling us. So okay, we are having some error here. So it says okay, we are the session SESSION. So we are having one. We're having a small spelling error. So let's give a wrong email and password. So now it's saying invalid email or password. So this is coming from the session method. Okay, so if I try to submit it empty, so it's going to notify me with this link. So till now we're going great. So we're doing great, and now what we are going to do is work on this logout function. So let's say so if user clicks this logout button, and we should be directed to the function here. So we will define our root. So root and should be get, and it's having logout link, and our controller will be same, but the method name will be different. So we have this same controller, but method will be logout. Okay, now we don't need to go to the controller. We will say define function here, function, and function inside function we will call session forget. We will unset our session, and we will return view called we will redirect our users to the login page. So okay, let's refresh this. Let's enter email and password. So if I log in, so we're here, and if I press logout button, so I'm redirected to logout page. So okay, and so we're almost done. So finally what we have to do is so if I try to go to the index page, now I'm taken to the index page. Okay, so and we are not having it here username, since we are not logging in properly. So user is able to access this index page directly. So we are going to fix this. So to fix this, just go to the index.blade.php page, and let's define a if let's say not if the session doesn't has the session name, let's firstly end the if condition here. We're going to redirect the user to the login page. So let's open a PHP tag, and inside PHP we will say header, and inside header we will say location, and we'll concatenate it with URL class, and we will define a to method, and inside this we will say login. Okay, so if the user doesn't have this session name, so this session name is coming from the login function here. So if the user hasn't logged in properly, then user should be redirected to this login page. So let's see if this works or not. So let's refresh this. It's not working. Okay, anyways, let's go back to our code, and we're checking this session called name, and we are to the login. Okay, our let's go back to the let's go back to our home page. So let's try to access this. Now we're allowed to access it. Let's go back to index, and if the session doesn't has the session name, and so we are header, location, URL. Okay, so we are lagging a exit here, so that's why it's not working. So if I refresh this, then I'm redirected to login page. If I again try to go to index, I'm not allowed to view the index page. So this is pretty much it. I hope you guys have learned some idea from here. So if you guys have any question, you can comment below, and if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe and share and support, so that I can bring such videos in the future. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good time.